Welcome back. We've spent the last couple of minutes speaking with Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija. Of course, she's been letting us into our world, and she's still with us in the house. Thanks for staying with us.
My pleasure.
So let's talk about your marriage. You've been married for 40 years. Amazingly, for someone who wants more out of life, you married quite early at 25. Because I know that with this generation, we have women who say, you know, I want to have it all, and they don't mind waiting till they are 40 before they get married. So tell me, how has it been, the journey, 40 years?
Well, I wouldn't say that getting married at 25 was early.
You know, back in the day.
In those days, that was the normal time to marry.
Yeah, back in the day.
These days, maybe it's it's shifted to like 28 to 29.
30.
I think,
men are scarce.
I think that it's not that the men are scarce. The men are there. They do exist. Because the women form only 50% of the, of the population.
Or maybe the men don't want to get married.
It's the economy. It's the economy all over the world. They want to be sure that they'll be able to provide for their families by the time they get married. I think that's what delays them a bit. And, they don't want to be failures when they do make, say I do. Having said that, any time that a couple gets married, one of the things that happens most of the time is that initially they quarrel, a bit.
Yeah, of course.
And the reason for that is you're just learning to live together. You've lived with your parents all your life. And then now you have to live with someone else. And that someone, you have to get to know that person properly.
Get used to
one another. Get used to their likes and their dislikes, their don'ts, and, and all of that. Courting is totally different from living together. So for marriage to work, you need to make it work. It's not automatic.
Okay, so let me ask you, have you been able to manage? Because 40 years and you've grown your career, to this peak, and your marriage is growing, waxing strong. How do you manage it?
Communication plays a major part. You have to, as a woman, get the approval of your husband. I have a fantastic husband. Wonderful. Right? I'm not saying that, we haven't had our ups and downs in our marriage. We have, but it's built on a bedrock of understanding and communication. You understand me? You understand me? Mm-hmm. I talk to my husband talks to me. We talk about anything and everything that happened during the day. When we get home, we talk about it. But in terms of ourselves, one another, whatever it is that we need to achieve on an individual basis, it's something we need to achieve together. You can't isolate yourself from the other. So you need to talk about it. You understand? A woman needs to get her husband's permission, to get things done. Never, ever underrate or under-respect your husband. No matter how difficult that man can be, one of the things I've learned over the years is that if you submit, you will get the best out of that man. If you show respect, you can milk even a lion. I'm not saying my husband behaves like a lion. Don't twist my words.
No, of course.
I'm just
of course.
Right.
Yeah, no matter how difficult the person may be.
Yeah, no matter how difficult you may think your husband is.
Once you come,
the way you behave
will determine his reaction.
Will speak volumes. Because with every action, there'll be a reaction. Because we're all human. And with every reaction, there'll be a counter reaction. So if you come along with, aggressiveness in the tone of your voice, of course, you're asking for trouble. If you, calm down, if you mellow down, if you speak nicely, if you maybe, listen, they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
If a nice dish.
I expect you to know what he loves to eat. you're trying to get something from him. You bribe him first with his favorite dish. You get what I'm saying? So it's, you've cooked something he likes, and the house is smelling nice, everything is in place, the way he likes it, and it's not that the children have thrown things all over the place and you haven't made sure that they've tidied up, and maybe he's coming back from a meeting that went wrong or something like that, and of course he's going to take it out on you. Who else to take it out on if not you? So you make sure that you've done your homework. If he's come home looking stressed, it's your duty to wipe that stress out of the way. Pat him on the back. Speak to him smoothly, softly, nicely. You understand me? Make him feel like the king that God has made him to be for his home. He's the king of his castle. Even if it's a one-bedroom house, apartment. That is his castle. You understand? Giving him the respect that he deserves. Even when you think he doesn't deserve that respect, God has said that he deserves it. So you give it to him and leave him and God. You just play your role.
Now let's talk 65 years and you've come up, this far. I'm sure you have some memorable moments that you like to share, moments that, in your life, you can't just forget, like, okay, maybe it was when you had your babies, maybe it was when you met your husband. What are some of your memorable moments?
Well, to start off with, of course, I can't forget the day we met. We met at a party. And I was at that party with my brother and his fiancée. From the day that we met till this day, apart from being in different continents of the world, when maybe we travel, we have seen each other every day. And we have spoken to one another, if necessary, over the phone, at least 2 or 3 times a day. To the glory of God. It has never been the same ever since. We have both never looked back. And our love grew. It was not love at first sight. Our love grew over the years. And it has continued to wax stronger and stronger and stronger. And has not diminished. And that is what has brought us this far. So that's a memorable moment. And of course, each time we had our children, another one that has come into our lives to, bond us even the more. The time that the oil license came, a process that had taken 3 years, that was a memorable moment. I danced all night, all alone in the house, because the rest of the family were abroad, because I had come back suddenly from being on holiday with the family. Another memorable moment was when I was celebrating my birthday. I can't remember which one it was now, but I guess it was in 2008 when I'd spoken to the Lord and I'd said to him that he should give me a wonderful birthday present, one that money cannot buy. And as I was kneeling down there, myself and my husband and the provost of our church was praying for us in that party, just as the party was about to start. And as soon as we got up from the prayers, and a call came through from my son from America, who called us and said that his wife had gone into labor.
Wow. And
the result of the labor was that we had our first grandchild, who was a girl, and her birthday was a day after mine. So that was the biggest, best birthday present that I could have wished for, that the Lord answered that prayer.
Talking about, your granddaughter, it just comes to mind that you really do not have a daughter.
No.
They're all boys.
Yes, all boys. But we also have a grandson.
Yeah, okay, no, yes. but do you miss having a daughter?
Well, listen, initially, it was like, oh, when am I going to have a girl? When am I going to? Oh, all right, they're all boys, fine. They're going to have girls to the glory of God. They'll have boys and girls. So I had been looking forward to that. So she was a wonderful, most welcome bundle of joy to come and be the
first
my partner in the family,
in the home.
My female partner in the family.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Now, talking about looking back at the 65 years that you've lived, I know that there are lessons that you must have learned from life that you would like to share. What are some of the lessons that you would say that you've learned from life?
The biggest lesson I've learned from life is that there's the best thing that can ever happen to one is finding God. That's the best thing that could ever happen to any human being. I find that He has been my guide ever since I've known Him. And what would have taken sometimes years to find out would just take a few minutes. That for me, has been awesome. Another lesson I've learned over the years is that one should never rely on man. Man will fail you, but God will never fail you.
Lastly, let me ask you one thing that you know about yourself that you think people do not know.
Well, one thing I know about myself is I don't take no for an answer. Maybe some people do know, but for those who don't, I don't take no for an answer. I always believe that there's something, somehow, in a way, there's something you can do that will provide a solution. And lately, I've pasted a sign on my door, on my office door. Don't come into my office with a problem without a solution. Because everybody wants me to solve their problems for them. So before you come to me,
you better have a solution.
You better have a solution.
We saw that written on the door when we came in. I was like, wow. Okay, we came with the solution today. Okay, it's indeed been a pleasure talking to you. It's been, an awesome time talking with you. We have spent the last couple of minutes speaking with Africa's second most powerful woman, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you so much for watching. This is the Sunday Interview. I'm Jokeli Jadu. I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.